Welcome back to the Prize Fighting Business. I'm your host, Daniel Caycedo, and today I'm joined by a very special guest, Carlos Rivera. Carlos, training out of Victory MMA in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
Pleasure. And Carlos, you are 3-1 as a pro, all three wins by way of finish, two submissions and a TKO. And your most recent win by guillotine in emphatic fashion, where you marked your territory after the win. And we can talk about that later as well if you'd like. But the next fight here is coming up is Fury FC on November 9th against CJ Jimenez. And it's a big fight for you, a good one for a next step in your career. So tell us what this means for you at this point in your career.
Yeah, like you said, man, it's just a big step. So I'm 3-1 right now, just trying to rattle off a few more fights and get to that like 5-6 fight record right there. The goal is obviously get to the UFC, man. So if you're playing basketball, you better try to be the best. You better be playing to go to the NBA. So same thing, man. The UFC is definitely the end goal, man. The top tier.
Love it. And again, so CJ Jimenez is your next opponent here. What do you know about your opponent?
I don't know too much about him. I know he's a little bit shorter than me, so he's 5'8". He's 4-5, so he definitely has that experience. He's 38 years old, a little bit older, definitely older for the game, so might be his might have to retire him. But
Yeah, you got to do
that's
what you got to do.
yeah, that's about really what I know. He looks like a brawler, so I've always wanted one of those slugfest fights, but now I'm more mature in my career. I'm like, I'm not in there for a slugfest. I'm gonna finish you and pick you apart. So, but yeah,
Yeah,
that's really all I know, man. I don't know too much about this guy yet. If anything, my coach, they're the ones that, do the homework and give me the technique and, the route to finish this guy. But that would be about it.
yeah. So you're training out of Victory MMA, like you said, more training for you as opposed to training for a specific opponent. So who is it that you primarily train with down there?
Man, we got a bunch of good guys. We're really lucky that we got a lot of 35ers, 135ers. And then we go down to Factory X a lot, so we're getting great rounds out there. So, I mean, different bodies all the time. So, I mean, it's not specific training partners, but, my coach, he has it set up for us. We're getting some good work.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got Elijah Smith obviously down there doing big things too. And like you
Oh,
said, going to
yeah.
Factory X, tons of guys at that weight class that are competitive. We've had on the show as well before and having success at the highest level. So awesome getting those looks. Very nice.
Yeah, definitely, man. I gotta say, Elijah's probably one of my favorite training partners, man. Just the level of competition is just always there. I can win one day, he can win one day. We're gonna shake hands and like we're gonna get right back to it. We're just turning each other into monsters, man. Iron sharpens iron. So yeah, definitely shout out to Elijah.
Absolutely. Love to see it. So what does the weight cutting process look like? I know you're still a little bit out from this fight at the time of this interview, but I imagine as we start promoting this and people see the videos, it'll be getting closer. So what does a normal weight cutting process look like for you?
It sucks. you know. Um, I like to eat. I'm a foodie, man. So that's probably the worst part, dieting. Really, I mean, we pick up cardio. I'll cut off like a good 10 pounds, just increasing cardio, a lot more running, a lot more grappling. And then, you know how that goes. The water load comes in after that. And then, it'd be a good 10, 15-pound water cut and then weigh in and it's showtime. So it's pretty straightforward. I mean, I've been doing this for, about a dozen weight cuts now. So, we kind
Yeah.
of got a science. Shout out to Laylee with Fuel Your Fight Camp. I still take some of the stuff that she's taught me, earlier in my amateur career. But yeah, man, we got a handle on it. So, I'll probably start about, I want to say about 3 weeks out is really when I'm
Okay.
more focused. I'm getting paranoid, like, hey, I shouldn't eat this. And you start getting those weird cravings. Like, you can literally smell chips through the bag in the store. It's like, I never even want chips, but why I want chips right now.
Right, right.
Well, yeah,
Very
usually
nice.
about 3 weeks out, we really put the foot on the gas and, tighten up.
Cool. So what does fight camp look like leading up to that point?
We're training, I shoot for 2 a day, early morning strength conditioning sessions. And then, we got all our different classes throughout the evenings. I used to do a lot of cross training, but that kind of bit me in my ass, training at different gyms. And then when it comes time to fights being offered, people were like, oh no, we're friends, or I know that guy. So we're kind of like, no new friends. We're keeping everything in house. Like we're gonna fight whoever. I'm 3-1, man. I need fights. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to fight whoever and wherever, and that's just kind of how it is right now.
Absolutely. Love it. Yeah, I mean, focused on your career. That's great. And so who is your head coach and who do you generally have in your corner at the fight?
Yeah, Gilbert Smith, that's my head coach. Been my head coach for the past 5 years now. And between Gilbert, Tyler Larson down at Kraken Jiu Jitsu, and Elijah, those are my guys right there. That's who I train with. They know my style and they kind of know the game plan, see the things that I don't see. But yeah, that's the crew.
Very nice. So you said you're generally cutting about 10 or 15 pounds at the end there. So what weight do you walk around at outside of fight camp?
Oh man, I'm big right now. I'm 169 right now.
Okay, great. I just love to
Yeah,
provide the context. So very cool, very
yeah, but
cool.
we'll tighten up, and the abs will start showing again here soon in a couple weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. Now you have some time. So speaking of that, since you like to eat, as you mentioned, what is the first thing you would eat after weigh-ins with the fight the next day?
Man, I weigh in. First thing is hydration, of course. The
Okay.
recon, getting the electrolytes, the water, that's like the biggest priority. But when it comes to food, fish, sushi. I love my sushi. That rice retains the water. The fish is like whole food, so your body absorbs it really fast. Put some extra soy sauce, get that salt to retain the water. But yeah, the go-to is
Absolutely.
sushi, and it's been like that for since like my second amateur fight. It's been the go-to.
Okay. And then what about after the fight? First thing you're eating after a fight?
Man, it's usually late, so there's not much open. It's like bar food or like whatever's available. But Fighting for Fury, their card's done a little earlier in the day, so usually like go for a good steak, some potatoes, some eat like a king. You just got the victory, you treat yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. So take me back then to the beginning of your career. How did you first get involved in martial arts? What made you decide to chase a pursuit of fighting?
Yeah, so I didn't grow up like with a dream or aspirations to be a fighter. It kind of just happened. I was 20 years old, turning 21, and man, I just wanted to be in shape. I had kids at this time. I wanted to just be a better man, a strong man, be able to like protect my kids, and I started doing jujitsu. My coach at the time, Hayward Charles in Avon, Colorado, he talked me into doing like a jiu-jitsu tournament. Went out there, got silver. So, it was kind of natural. Just, I was good. I liked it. And then the same year, I mean, I'm probably like 9 months of training. He's like, I got you an MMA fight. I'm like you did what? Like what? I'm like, well, let me think about it. And he's like, well, don't think too long. I need to know by tomorrow. So I'm like, dude, like you just threw this on my plate. So I'm getting in the shower. I remember this clearly. I'm getting in the shower and like the music's playing and I'm like thinking about my walkout song. I'm like, dude, we're gonna do this. Like, we're really doing this. And that was kind of really the start, man. And it kind of just spiraled out from there. But I mean, real testimony, man. It really saved my life. I was like
Yeah,
a troubled kid. I was like really just headed down the wrong road, and man, it really tightened me up, man. It really gave me that sense of purpose. As men, we don't hear this enough. Like, good job. I'm proud of you.
yeah,
We don't hear that stuff. And to be in the gym and be doing something that I loved and people telling me like, bro, you're doing good. Like, I'm proud of you. Like, good job. Give me my flowers. It's like, I appreciated that. And I think that's another thing that kind of just pushed me to do better and kind of set an example for my kids too. So that's really, man, it just kind of just happened. And it was more of just like, it felt good. I was doing good. And it's just like, this is for me, man. And I'm better than I'd like to admit.
absolutely. No, I'd love to hear that, and I think it's a perhaps a common journey in the pursuit of trying to live a better life. So no, I'd love to hear that you're able to find that structure. And I think that's one of the big benefits of martial arts gyms, that it provides that community and structure and support. So love to hear it.
Right.
Love to hear it. So
Yeah.
I mean, you talked first of all, Hayward Charles. I mean, that's a guy with a ton of experience, and the number of fights he has as a pro, it doesn't surprise me. Perhaps that's his approach to it. Just jump in there
Yeah.
and go compete. So that's awesome. That's your origin story. So that was your first amateur fight, pretty much, right off of a jiu-jitsu tournament that you did all right in, or you got silver in. Pretty good for a beginner,
Yeah.
certainly. And then dive right into the deep end with a fight. So how did you take your amateur career from there? Like where did you go from that first fight and jiu-jitsu tournament to being a pro?
So I lost my first two amateur fights in a row. Like I went out there, like my mentality was like street fighter, we're gonna throw hands, and these guys took me down and kept me down. So I kind
Yeah,
of won. My first loss was against Carlos Valdez. He took me down, held me down for 3 rounds. Obviously got the win. And actually, one of my teammates now, Dylan King, that was my second fight.
yeah.
Uh,
Oh
he
wow.
he choked my ass out. can't do it anymore. But he definitely, oh my god, it choked my ass out, and it opened up my eyes. I was like, okay, I need to get this fight IQ down, and I mean, I deal with adversity real well. So the
Mm.
the losses really didn't. It wasn't much to me. The way fighting made me feel and the way it was shaping my life was bigger than like going out there and losing in front of everyone you love. So yeah, man, I kind of just stuck with it because it made me feel good. Like I was doing good, I was feeling good, I was getting better. And just kept riding the wave. And I didn't know that I was going to be where I'm at now, like going pro. Like I was a little nervous to go pro at first, and then I won an amateur title. My last amateur
That's
fight was,
Sparta.
yeah, exactly, with Sparta. And I was like, you know what? Like I am pretty good. It's time to get paid. Like if I really want to be the best and play with the big dogs, like let's do it. It's time to get paid, time to get a check. So you know signed up for a pro debut. I fought a guy from New Mexico for Colorado Combat Club, finished him in like a minute and some change. And I was just like, man, like this is for me, and we're gonna keep doing this. And I feel like there's a spiritual aspect too, man. I feel like like God has plans for us for sure. And just coming from where I came from and accomplishing everything that I've accomplished, man, I just want to be that guy to show people that come from where I come from and what I've been through. Like, man, you can do this. You can do anything. If it's not fighting, you can do whatever you put your mind to. And I just feel like that's one of my biggest testimonies, man, is just to come from where I came from and be here now on my way, like literally on the path to the UFC, training with some of the best in the world, man. It's a blessing, and I just can't thank God enough. And I'm just excited for my journey.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's inspiring to hear and inspiring to see the journey. And after those first two losses, like you said, you rattled off a bunch of wins, won an amateur title, went pro with Colorado Combat, got that victory there as well, and then you had experience in LFA before this Fury Fighting promotion opportunity, and you've made the best of this opportunity. So it's exciting to see
Right.
you on the come up here. What are your career goals? I know you mentioned the UFC, but what are your ultimate biggest goals for your career?
Yeah, man. Obviously, it's the UFC. I'd like to get paid. They pay big checks. Take that money, invest in my future. But really, it's just to be the best I can be. And I really do think that that's the stage. It's getting to the UFC. I'm training with some of the best in the world. You really get to gauge yourself. Training with these guys at this level, and this is for me. It's truly for me, and I really don't see it going any other way, man. Like we're gonna get there. We're almost there, and I feel like I'm not the only one that knows it. People around me, my peers, and other gyms and other fighters, they tell me, they're like, "Bro, you're gonna be a problem," and I'm just excited to get there. And really, financial freedom is the biggest goal. I want
Love
to,
it.
yeah, financial freedom for sure. And like I said, just being a role model to people that think that they're stuck or they can't get away from the situation they're in. Like, man, I'm gonna be that living proof. Like, you can do it. You get out there, grind. You stick to the code, you have that discipline, man, you're gonna make it. And it's just as simple as that.
I have no doubt. I have no doubt. So I'm excited, man. November 9th, like I said, Fury FC Championship. CJ Jimenez, that's your opponent. We're going to see another impressive victory, I'm sure, from you. So, how can people support you? How can they watch the fight? How can they buy tickets? What's the best way for them to make sure that they're there November 9th for you?
Yeah, so it's in Houston, Texas. It's a little bit of a travel, so you can tune in. UFC Fight Pass for sure. But if you do want to make it out there, I'm probably gonna get some tickets here soon because I do have some family that wants to go out there. But yeah, most likely just tuning in UFC Fight Pass. I don't know if they're still doing that, like 30-day free trial or whatever. So if you don't have UFC Fight Pass, you can do the free trial and stuff. But that's where all the action's gonna be. November 9th.
Oh yeah, we'll be there. We'll be watching for sure. And you made a great point there too. This isn't just a Colorado fight. Not to diminish Colorado, seeing lots of talent, tons of talent in Colorado. That's why we highlight it. But awesome opportunity to go down to Texas, where also a lot of talent, a lot of eyes on you, and get this big fight under the spotlight. So we're excited for you, Carlos. We appreciate the time. Best of skill to you here coming up November 9th. We appreciate it.
Well, appreciate you, brother.